He explains that media does not show reality directly. Instead, it creates that reality with images, stories, language. Stuart Hall in the text explained that communication in media has two parts, encoding and decoding. Encoding is when the producer creates a message, and decoding is when people try to understand it. In conclusion, he explained how media is not neutral. It is influenced by different types and ways of thinking, by culture, by power. This is what made people understand the same message in different ways. He explained that there are three different types of audience. First, the audience that accepts the message, that is the dominant audience. Then there is a second one that partly agrees with the message but also questions it and is the negotiation reading. And finally, there is the audience that completely disagree and is the oppositional reading.
So these are the main differences we found between last week's lecture and this week's reading. So with both the lecture about communicative models and Hall's text, they have both an interest in communication and decoding. They both argue that communication is not just sending the information, but how the receiver interprets that information. Also, they both emphasize on the codes of communication, thinking that communication fully depends on these codes and sharing messages of meaning between the sender and the receiver. But we also found some differences between the texts. Another differences we saw was the perspective of the view of the misunderstanding. So while in the lecture we saw that the misunderstanding can be seen as an aberrant coding set by echo caused by code gaps, noise, or differences in the sender, the Hall's text says that this misunderstanding, it's not technical, but social and political, that reflects fully power struggles and ideology.
An example of the encoder-decoder model could be the American Psycho movie, which is a story about a Wall Street yuppie who is secretly a murderous psychopath. Its director, Mary Herron, encoded a satire about hypermasculine consumerist culture in the 80s, and its main protagonist is meant to be read as insecure and pathetic. This would be a preferred reading. Oppositional position would be that taken by so-called Sigma males, who are the ones who understand the lexical items of hypermasculinity, wealth, and systemic violence as symbols of power that should be praised. A negotiated position understands this connotative value, but questions certain nuances such as the gratuitous violence against women or the choice to cast a conventionally attractive actor for the main character.
Ever notice how two people can watch the same video and see two totally different things? You decode the message based on your own life and views, and there are three ways you might react. First one, the dominant view. You accept the message exactly as intended, and you accept the preferred meaning the producer wants you to see.
Then we have the negotiated view, where you agree with the general idea, but you make your own exceptions based on your personal experiences.
And finally, we have the oppositional view, where you see the bias, you see the codes, and you reject the message entirely. You're misunderstanding it on purpose.